Hey everybody! This video is about bad sentences in great books, and today's example is Harry Potter's and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now I know some people might not call Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone a great book, and I get that, but it has been around for over 20 years, and people still read it, and so that's almost classic status. Now, it's been over 20 years since Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone was published, and people are still reading it. I mean, most books are forgotten weeks, months after they're published. And I'm betting the Harry Potter books will continue to be read for, man, several generations after this. So I'm going to go ahead, call it a classic now. And if I'm wrong, 50 years from now, people could come back and mock me for it. All right, here's my blog, Dysfunctional Literacy, where I originally wrote about this. So if you like this topic and if you like to read, you can also check out my blog. All right, now back to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, whether it's a classic or not, or whether it's great or not, uh, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone has some bad sentences in it. It's easy for me to spot bad sentences because I've written a lot of them in my time. And if my English teachers would have red marked my paper for writing something similar, then it's a bad sentence. If my writing group peers would have criticized me for writing something similar, then it's a bad sentence. It's a bad sentence. Now, the bad sentences in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone aren't the long, confusing run-ons that can plague a lot of classic literature. J.K. Rowling's bad sentences are more subtle. Readers who are into books for pure enjoyment might not spot the bad sentence, but somebody like me, who hasn't truly enjoyed a book in decades, bad sentences stick out. Okay, when I say I haven't truly enjoyed a book in decades or in years, okay, I am kidding about that, but people don't understand. Bad sentence number one. He bent his great, shaggy head over Harry and gave him what must have been a very scratchy, whiskery kiss. Alright, why is this a bad sentence? Well, if I had written this sentence, my English teacher would have hammered me for the phrase, what must have been. What do you mean, what must have been? My English teacher probably would have said something like that. Either the kiss was scratchy and whiskery, or it wasn't. And don't use very. The word very is very lazy. Now, I'll admit, I haven't finished reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. But I don't think readers ever found out whether or not the kiss was very scratchy and whiskery. Or maybe the kiss was somewhat scratchy and whiskery. I'll never know. Bad sentence number two. And the fleet of little boats moved off all at once, gliding across the lake, which was as smooth as glass. My English teacher and my writers group peers would have told me that smooth as glass was one of the laziest similes an author can come up with. It's right up there with as fast as a cheetah. Now, maybe maybe the baby's bottom wasn't good enough. If I'd written smooth as glass in school, I would have gotten a giant red cliche on my paper. Plus, the sentence started with the word and I did it too, so maybe I shouldn't mention it. What is smoother anyways, glass or a baby's bottom? That's one of those things you have to be really careful about if you're determined to find out. Bad sentence number three. The entrance hall is so big, you could have fit the whole of the Dursleys' house in it. Okay, second person point of view. I was taught to never use second person point of view in fiction except in dialogue. Even if it were acceptable in writing, this example of the word you just came out of nowhere. It would have been an easy fix for an editor with something like, the entrance hall was so big the whole of the Dursleys' house would have fit inside. Something like that. Making the sentence even worse was the use of the word big. Big is a lazy adjective. Even I know that. Students all over the United States are taught, not to use the word big. Don't do it. And an author doesn't need a thesaurus to find a more vivid adjective than big. I can't believe publishers let a first-time author get away with the word big. I thought that's something like James Patterson could do. Bad sentence number four. It's an invisibility cloak, said Ron, a look of awe on his face. Of course! The look of awe is on his face, my English teacher would have said if I had written the sentence. Where else would a look of awe be? On his hands? On his feet? On his stomach? On his butt? All right, it's a little overkill. The redundancy could have easily been fixed with the following. It's an invisibility cloak, said Ron in awe. Or, It's an invisibility cloak, said Ron, his jaw dropping in awe. Now, maybe I'm being just a little nitpicky. Then again, maybe I'm not. Maybe maybe published authors should be held to higher standards than public school students or struggling authors in writing groups. I don't know. Either way, I know that Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is a wildly successful book. Maybe it's a classic, but I also know that even wildly successful books can have bad sentences in them. Alright, what do you think? Are these sentences bad, or are my teachers and writing group peers overreacting? Should an aspiring author use the word big? Which is smoother, glass or baby's bottom? Is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone really a classic? And if not, when does a book become a classic anyways? One generation? Two generations? This is my blog, Dysfunctional Literacy. If you like talking about books or arguing about books, if you're into books and writing, I write book reviews. And I try to take different approaches to my reviews so they don't sound like everybody else's. And I also write commentary, and sometimes I post my own stories too. So if you like this video, check out my blog or look around the channel too. I hope you enjoyed this video or audio or whatever it is. And thanks for watching.